Okay, I promise this is gonna be the last video. Again, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep, and my brain just keeps active. Now, this video has to do with Nancy. Do you guys remember Nancy? She was from the state. She worked, I don't know if it was 4 or 8 years. Honestly, I don't recall how long. I know it was on 4-year terms that they were contracted by U.S. Probation of Puerto Rico. Well, Nancy, again, very nice lady. I joked around a lot with her. But guess why she could not stay? Others did. Others were, that were also contracted from the state. A lot of them did stay. But I found out from Human Resources up in probation the reason why they never contracted her to keep her permanently. I mentioned this before, but again, I want to emphasize it with the person's, at least the first name, Nancy, really nice. Well, Nancy, just so you know, and the reason why I mention these particular details is because I'm sure that after my termination, I'm pretty sure that gossip ran like wildfire in both probation and U.S. District Court, because I've seen it before. I've seen it before when it comes to Martin, when he got fired, Carlos, Gabriel, what's her name again? Shirley. Because again, there's no respect. And there's no confidentiality from HR either, from both sides. Again, they break their own policies, but nobody's watching the watchers. They violate their own policies, their own canons, but nobody is really doing anything about it. Well, Nancy, in your case, HR told me, this is not gossip from other co-workers, this was HR up in probation, you know who we're talking about, that the reason why they never recontracted you was because there was very sensitive photos on your work phone of yourself. I don't want to enter into details, but honestly, I did not like how we sometimes, and when I say we, it's HR, we tend to bash former employees. Because honestly, these things should not fly around like that. I know sometimes people will gossip, but where did they get the information? Where? I'm pretty sure you would not divulge that to anybody, even your friends. But HR has a bad tendency of not keeping confidentiality, both U.S. District Court and probation. Again, and I'm saying it because HR herself told me, this is not gossip from third party, etc., that the reason why you were not kept on was because you had on your work phone very questionable photos of yourself. Now let's be clear again. Let's be very clear. At least they let your contract expire, because if it was a guy, he would be immediately fired for having questionable photos on his work phone. That's why I emphasize over again, the Western world is very misandrist. Thank you to feminism, the extremes of feminism. And of course, the latest weapon, Me Too, makes it even easier for them to get rid of men. I sometimes wonder if there might be some agenda for women to have more women to themselves. The rainbow ladies. Because, it almost seems that is what is being pushed down the piping, from the oligarchs of the world. It almost seems like they want to continue to enforce some kind of rainbow agenda, and I know it sounds like conspiracy, But really, when you apply the rules differently to others, because again, in my case, I was terminated for comments that were not the most glorious comments, but they weren't so bad because I was pardoned originally for those exact same comments. But if I had a picture, I'm pretty sure I would not even been pardoned the first time. Now, mind you, I still don't know what the more it is that they found. They never told me. They never mentioned it at the appeal. But again, the bigger picture here is with Nancy, and that is that you should worry, Nancy. I mean, I doubt you're listening, but you should worry. You should be concerned. You might even want to, I don't know, you might even want to complain as to why is it that somebody knows so much about something that should be confidential. Maybe we should all unite and to a certain extent hold human resources accountable to when they make mistakes, horrendous mistakes, repetitive mistakes. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because they're women. It's not going to happen because, again, these people cover each other up. And it's sad. So even human resources is toxic by not being able to keep confidential cases under wraps. So Nancy, again, I doubt you're ever going to listen to this. If you're out there, I miss you. It was fun chatting with you all those times. I know you're a cool person, but your reputation was very much trashed by human resources and probation, and that spread like wildfire. Everybody knows. So me just mentioning here on YouTube, all of them already knows. Nobody in the world out there in YouTube world knows who you are. So, but everybody at probation most of that era know who you are, and they already know all this. Why? Because human resources can't keep a lid on confidential stuff. That's sad. To that level, U.S. probation and U.S. District Court are very toxic workplaces, and I assume this might be the case in many workplaces. To be honest, when I worked for the 15th Judicial Circuit of Florida, HR was way better. I mean, I never really found out why anybody was terminated, to be honest, unless it was something that came out on the news, which I think one guy pulled out a gun or something, and it came out on the news. So that's how everybody found out. But HR over there was at least, confidential. People would not find out. Oh, they were just escorted out of the building, but that's it. No, nobody knew. See, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Nobody should find out why anybody got terminated. So, it's sad to say. Oh, well, and another. There was another case too that the lady got terminated, but it was because she told me herself. She told me herself. HR did not spread, open their big mouth like they do here in Puerto Rico. I guess Latinos are big mouths, including myself, with these videos, we just talk maybe a little too much, but to be honest, I love truth. I love truth to death, even if it kills me. And hey, if they want to get rid of me, they can do so, like they did JFK. But again, I will hold the chief judge accountable for anything that happens to me or any member of my family. Because the truth should, in a democracy, the truth should be king, and we should be transparent. So Nancy, hey, I don't know if any of your friends told you, because again, sometimes friends are hypocrites. They will not tell you not to hurt your feelings. But that's the reason why they never kept you and they kept the others. And this is something HR told me herself up in probation, which is sad. I should not find out these things. But who's watching the watchers? Again, this is my investigation, exposing the toxicity of a federal agency or federal agencies here in Puerto Rico. Trump once said those people down there, that's a little corrupt island. I think something like that. I'm paraphrasing. That's a little corrupt island. I remember he said that, many years ago when he was president. Well, he's right. He's right. Too much corruption. And I will continue investigating and sharing with you people. So this one's shorter. I hope this is a final good night. Good night.